is legally bound to put its bottom line ahead of everything else, even the public good.
That's not a law of nature. That's a very specific decision, in fact, a judicial decision. So they're concerned only for the short-term profit of their stockholders, who are very highly concentrated. Close to half the stock is owned by about 1% of the population, and the bottom 80% of the population hold about 4% of the stock.
Being on the stock market, being a public company, is great in many ways, but it doesn't allow you time for reflection. It has to maximize its profits. Therefore, everything is legitimate in the pursuit of that goal. Everything. Not explicit, but everything.
To whom do these companies owe loyalty? What does loyalty mean? Well, it turns out that that was a rather naive concept anyway, as corporations are always owed obligation to themselves to get large and to get profitable. In doing this, it tends to be more profitable to the extent it can make other people pay the bills for its impact on society. There's a terrible word that economists use for this called externalities.
An externality is the effect of a transaction between two individuals on a third party who has not consented to or played any role in the carrying out of that transaction. And there are real problems in that area, there's no doubt about it.
Running a business is a tough proposition. There are costs to be minimized at every turn. And at some point, the corporation says, you know, let somebody else deal with that. Let's let somebody else supply the military power to the Middle East to protect the oil at its source. Let's let somebody else build the roads that we can drive these automobiles on. Let's let somebody else have those problems. And that is where externalities come from, that notion of let somebody else deal with that. I got all I can handle myself.
A corporation is an externalizing machine in the same way that a shark is a killing machine. Each one is designed in a very efficient way to accomplish particular objectives. In the achievement of those objectives, there isn't any question of malevolence or of will. The enterprise has within it, and the shark has within it, those characteristics that enable it to do that for which it was designed.
So the pressure's on the corporation to deliver results now and to externalize any cost that this unwary or uncaring public will allow it to externalize.
To determine the kind of personality that drives the corporation to behave like an externalizing machine, we can analyze it like a psychiatrist would a patient. We can even formulate a diagnosis on the basis of typical case histories of harm it has inflicted on others, selected from a universe of corporate activity.
Well, this is the office of the National Labor Committee here in the garment area of New York City.
Hi. Welcome to the Fraser Institute. Glad you could stop by.
This is the setup. It's a little messy. It's a little bit disheveled. These are all from different campaigns. To make this stuff concrete as possible, we purchase all of the products from the factories that we're talking about.
Well, come on in and we'll show you the Institute. What we are about is looking at how markets work and how markets benefit mankind and how the forces within markets cause people to cooperate. When the baker gets up at 2 o'clock in the morning to bake bread, his intent is not to benefit everybody in the neighborhood. He's producing it because it is in the interest of his family. But it produces this wonderful benefit for the community. And so it is with all economic production, that there is this self-centered motive which produces the wider social benefit.
This shirt sells for $14.99, and the women who made the shirt got paid 3 cents. Liz Claiborne jackets, made in El Salvador. The jackets are $178, and the workers were paid 74 cents for every jacket they made. Alpine Costerials, 31 cents an hour. It's not just sneakers, it's not just apparel, it's everything.
In some ways, the job of the Fraser Institute is to ask questions that people would rather not have asked.
Their whole philosophy is to create a climate where big business can make maximum profits.
Michael Walker is here, and I think we should give him a welcome.
Walker must have the height of a rhinoceros to face this crowd.
And that's what we have to do.
Do you have a chance to go to school?
No.
How old is she?
I'm 15 years old.
Do many people in her family work, or is she one of the only people?
Just me.
You support? How many people do you support?
8 people.
8 people. And how do you do with that salary? Is it enough?
¿Alcanza? ¿Es suficiente?
Let's look at it from a different point of view. Let's look at it from the point of view of the people in Bangladesh who are starving to death, the people in China who are starving to death, and the only thing that they have to offer to anybody that is worth anything is their low-cost labor. And in effect, what they are saying to the world is they have this big flag that says, come over and hire us. We will work for 10 cents an hour, because 10 cents an hour will buy us the rice that we need not to starve. And come and rescue us from our circumstance. And so when Nike comes in, they are regarded by everybody in the community as an enormous godsend.
You don't have any authorization to be here.
The door was wide open.
No.
That's my clothes. Those are my clothes.
No, this is not your clothes. Where's your camera?
Let's leave. Don't touch the woman.
Okay, why?
Okay?
This is a private company.
Yes.
Without permission, how can you come in?
Well, the door was wide open, and
The door is wide open is for the employees, not for you.
we went through the garbage dump in the Dominican Republic. We always do this kind of stuff. We dig around. All of that stuff, those boxes back there, all of that came out of the dump. One day, we found a big pile of Nike's internal pricing documents. Nike assigns a time frame to each operation. They don't talk about minutes. They break the time frame into 10,000ths of a second. You get to the bottom of all 22 operations to give the workers 6.6 minutes to make the shirt. It's 70 cents an hour in the Dominican Republic. That 6.6 minutes equals 8 cents. These are Nike's documents. That means the wages come to 0.3% of the retail price. This is the reality. It's the science of exploitation.
What happens in the areas where these corporations go in and are successful? They soon find that they can't do any more in that country because the wages are too high now. And what's that another way of saying? Well, the people are no longer desperate. So, okay, we've used up all the desperate people there. They're all plump and healthy and wealthy. Let's move on to the next desperate lot and employ them and raise their level up.
Well, the whole idea of the export processing zone is that it will be the first step towards this wonderful new development. Through the investment that's attracted to these countries, there will be a trickle-down effect into the communities. But because so many countries are now in the game of creating these free trade enclaves, they have to keep providing more and more incentives for companies to come to their little denationalized pocket, and that the tax holidays get longer. So the workers rarely make enough money to buy